my staff in half. Unfortunately, I don't want to, but I don't have a choice because I can't keep them here. Nobody in this restaurant, they can't be paid.
We know that tourism, everybody it's all of our business. So we see this as our way of giving back to the country.
Although we're in the COVID era, to the degree that we could continue is important because life doesn't really stop.
Legislators plot the way forward amid the COVID pandemic. The hotel sector takes a bruising, and why mental health's key in such uncertain times. Good morning, everyone. I'm Akush Lupinder, and welcome to the morning edition. COVID-19 could very well force lawmakers into making unprecedented decisions to avert any drastic spread of COVID-19 here in the Bahamas. Expect then several communications to be presented in Parliament today. Legislators meeting along the sidelines of the world grappling with growing fears of the disease, with the country so far confirming one such case 4 days ago. While the economic pinch from COVID-19 far-reaching as early as tomorrow, new travel restrictions will take effect, impacting the #1 sector. Foreign nationals and those who traveled within the last 20 days from the United Kingdom, Ireland and Europe will be denied entry into the country. This, no doubt, will provide a crippling blow to Club Med Resort in San Salvador, which depends heavily on bi-weekly direct flights from Europe. Hotels are already seeing major cancellations and low occupancy levels, sending the jobs of thousands of Bahamian workers into uncertainty. In studio with us this morning is President of the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union, Darren Woods. Mr. Woods, welcome to the morning edition.
Good morning, Ms. Pinder, and good morning, Bahamas.
Now, I understand that later today you'll meet with the tourism minister to discuss the way forward. Tell us some more about those talks, what you hope to get out of those talks today.
Well, what we wanted to do was ensure that the hospitality workers and the restaurant workers are heard. There's a lot of discussions going around or happening, and it seems as if our sector is not a part of the discussions that are going on. And so we wanted to say to the minister, as we would have mentioned to the Minister of Labor yesterday, some of the real issues that are happening on the ground in the industry. You mentioned Club Med, which is one of the properties that is going to be affected as of Thursday, where you find that the persons who are on that property, the guests, are leaving, with the last guest leaving on Saturday. And the resort will be closed. We got a note saying that they will be closed temporarily for 5 weeks. Now, all of that is contingent on the travel restriction and what happens after that. And even with that, we believe that there will still be some reservation on persons traveling because their guest comes from Europe. And so that's what we're faced with.
You've had conference calls as well with Club Med officials. What's been the outcome?
Well, the outcome was to find out, as of Thursday this week, how do we kind of preserve some employment for some of the persons on that island, with Club Med being the major employer. And as we've always done, we're able to preserve some persons being able to work through this period. The others will be off. Now we're in the phase where we're talking about how do we bring some relief to those persons in the immediate future, taking into consideration that based on our industry, they will be paid last week's pay. I mean, they work a week. And so this week they will be paid for last week, and next week they will be paid for this week. So we have some time that we have to put our plans together to kind of bring some relief to those persons.
Outside of that, what else are you hoping to achieve for your members? That's thousands of Bahamians that could possibly be out of a job if this thing lingers.
Well, the major thing is, how do we preserve jobs? There will have to be some concessions, and that's why we're taking what we call a tripartite approach, where the union, the employer, and the government comes together, and we sit down to say exactly, with each one bringing their percentage stake to this crisis. what are you prepared to do? What are you able to do? What is the government able to do? What is the union going to do? And what is the employer prepared to do? And that, with that approach, we see it being phased in. Because listening to the international news, there's no indication as to how long this is going to last. So whatever is done, whatever relief is sought, whatever relief is given, it has to be done on a phased-in approach. And so we want to see from the government, the various agencies, at what point they will be doing. The employer, at what point, what can we do? And then, of course, from the union standpoint, the union is going to do whatever is necessary and is able to do in the best interest of its members. Now, there are going to be some discussions that will take the whole industry into account. But when it comes down to the members of the hotel union, the union is responsible. And we believe we have a moral and a social obligation to look out for the best interests of our members.
Now, there's a saying, prepare for the best, well, hope for the best, yes, prepare for the worst. What's your greatest fear in all of this? My greatest fear in all of this would be, and I'm using fear kind of loosely, would be a complete shutdown, because we are so dependent on outside. And if that market, similar to the European market, is a travel ban, and this thing really spreads further, that we have a complete shutdown, how long can anything be sustained? And that is one of the issues we want to raise with the government, their projection. Because, you know, the tourism minister, they have all of the statistics, flights that are pending, whatever is coming in, any cancellation of flights on a national level. We know from the hotels what is happening there. So we need to be, that's where we are better able to plan what is going to happen and how do we kind of execute our plan. Bearing in mind that we have a model already. So we don't have to create the model. It's just now that how do we execute this in the short, long, and medium term. Now, is the union, worst comes to worst, or in any event, for the thousands of workers, for the most part, they're going to be at home or without a job for 2 weeks, as it stands. Is the union prepared in any way, and we're talking financially, to assist its members? Well, first of all, the notice that would have been given to the employees from, one, the Atlantis, the Hilton, and we see another trend, they gave them a proposal to either take 2 weeks vacation, earned vacation, or 2 weeks leave of absence. The employees will have to make a financial decision whether I want to use some of my vacation now, or I'm doing kind of good and I want to take a week or whatever leave of absence. It is not mandatory. It is not mandatory. Now, we heard some voice note going around from some managers telling some employees that is mandatory. So we reached out to the human resources to get that sorted out, because their note was, we're asking you to take it. Now, what they've enacted is nothing new. Our industrial agreement provides for, if there's a downturn in the industry, Fight Cancellation Act of God, hurricanes, whatever, for them to start rostering according to occupancy. So they will then go to rostering with occupancy, which means now, if Darren decides that he doesn't want to take any vacation at this time, he doesn't want to go on the leave of absence, he's then placed into a pool and he will work whatever days are available. So they will be able to get some days. What we are saying to our members is, listen, we are at the beginning of this thing. We don't know how long this is going to last. Let's hold our ground until we kind of get some indication as to what is going to happen. Then you can say, well, I'll take a week vacation here, or I'll take a leave of absence here, and then we can start to look at. But to your question, whatever is necessary for the union to assist its members, the union is prepared to do. If we have to go and negotiate, whatever we have to negotiate so that the union can assist its members, we are prepared, ready, willing, and able to do so. And we've done it before. In 2011, with the 9/11, we did it then. In 2008, we did it then. But what we want to do is try to see how best we can preserve jobs. Because in 2008, some persons were made redundant, and some of those persons to date
are still unemployed. Because when you look at persons who are 45, 50 years of age, it's kind of hard for those persons to find another job. And so, whatever is necessary, the hotel union will stand with its members in these times.
Well, you heard it right from the mouth of Mr. Woods, the president of the Bahamas Hotel Union. Well, already COVID-19 is impacting the business of several Arawak key vendors who rely heavily on cruise ship passengers. Remember, that sector has taken quite a hit from the temporary travel ban now in place. The moves forced some operators to temporarily halt operations. You see, some of these Arawak key vendors employ close to 30 workers, but now fear they may have to reduce staff.
Definitely, if it keeps up like this, probably will have to, just trickle down a little bit. There's probably switch up on the days with one or two of them. But right now, we're just going with a one-man shift, one bartender, one waitress right now.
I cut my staff in half. Unfortunately, I don't want to, but I don't have a choice because I can't keep them here. Nobody in this restaurant, they can't be paid.
I won't lay off, but they'll have to stay home for a while. There's nothing we could do if the business isn't here. There's nothing we can do, and so we just have to help them along the way. If we can feed our employees, we will feed our employees while they're here. If we need to help bridge the gap for meals with their families, I'm going to do that.
Well, Neiman Marcus, Bergdorf Goodman, Mac and Taylor, Gymboree, Bath and Body, Sephora, Party City, Foot Locker. The list of brick-and-mortar retailers temporarily closing under the prevailing threat of COVID-19 grows. The retailers all vowing to extend the 2-week closure time frame, depending further developments of the fast-moving disease. Here at home, the same degree of reality setting in, with 1 or 2 stores taking similar action. John's Shoes will be closed for the remainder of the week, and according to company officials, for a week period beyond that, with the tentative plan to resume business on Monday, March 30th. Now, the company stresses that the idea is not to create panic or hysteria, but only to keep people safe. Meantime, such uncertain times has led to Solomon's Fresh Market instituting a sick-free workplace policy, asking all those with flu-like symptoms to stay at home. Meantime, the country's main gateway remains open and fully operational. NAD officials say the Lynden Pinley International Airport is not closing due to the virus. They are, however, working closely with local health officials and airport partners to ensure the safety and security of all LPIA users. The traveling public is encouraged to contact their individual airlines for updates on flight schedules. The national flag carrier also taking added precaution to mitigate against the spread of COVID-19, conducting intense cleaning, disinfecting all flights before departure. Bahamas Air's chairman, Tommy Turnquist, says the airline has also established a COVID-19 task force in response to the threat in the face of concerns for the safety of its nearly 600 staff, from the flight crews to customer service agents.
We're monitoring it on a daily basis. It is a very fluid situation, but we do want to assure the traveling public that we're doing everything to maintain the safety of the traveling public and the safety of our employees. We have gone around and purchased all of the various disinfectants that we need industry-wide, and we believe that we have sufficient to carry us over the next 4 weeks.
Turnquist says the airline, that is subsidized more than $20 million by government, had hoped to reduce its reliance, but Hurricane Dorian and now the COVID-19 pose another challenge. He says it is too soon to say just how much the airline's bottom line will be impacted, but officials are also monitoring how they will deal with the workforce as travel is impacted.
We believe that our domestic travel will continue to remain as is. In fact, we believe, given the fact that we are asked to social distance, more and more persons will travel to the family islands, where there's a lot more space. We're going to look and see what our outstanding vacation liability is, and we'll try and manage that in the first instance.
Healthcare providers coming together this morning in what's being dubbed the COVID-19 Symposium. Professionals from across the health field will address a wide range of issues relating to the global pandemic. Our Lloyd Allen is there. break and return with the morning edition.
Our marine resources were once considered inexhaustible. Conch and reef fish like grouper were abundant everywhere, and it seemed as if the lobster catch would rise forever. But today, there is a downward trend that affects everyone. Researchers say we can reverse the trend by protecting more marine habitats. And the good news is that most Bahamians strongly support efforts to halt further decline. Tripling the size of our network of marine parks will mean more fish and conch for everyone now and for the future, as well as more recreational and ecotourism opportunities. Today, only 10% of our waters are protected. Surveys show that most Bahamians consider protection of our marine environment to be a top national priority. More protection means more benefits for everyone, now and in the future. It's a win-win-win strategy for the economy, for Bahamians, and for nature. Protect our sea, protect our way of life, protect the Bahamas. See the future. Visit Bahamas Protected on Facebook to learn more about marine protected areas.
Everybody, I on TV. Look, I on TV. Mom, guess what it is? That's me. Bartend, do you see me? I on television. I gotta tell my girlfriend I on television.
Hello?
Babe, turn your television to ZNS. Quick, I'm on television.
I don't have a TV in there.
We have Wi-Fi, though.
We have Wi-Fi.
That's fine. They upgrade now. You can watch it live from your phone. You just have to download the app.
All right, hold on.
Go to the App Store, type in ZNS, download the app, and you'll be able to watch ZNS straight from your phone. Hurry up and start over, girl.
Get your news and more anytime, anywhere with the new ZNS app. Stay connected from around the globe with our live stream news updates, all in the palm of your hand. You can also listen to the ZNS Radio Network for your favorite music. Go into your Apple or Google Play Store and download the ZNS app today.
Present check? Miss I's a star now. I still gotta pay? It's the OT with yours truly, Charles Fisher.
Buddy Hield and the Kings have their...
Buddy Hield seems to be having the best season of his career. He had 32 points the other night. It was a bit disappointing, Shawnee Miller not winning the IAAF World Female Athlete of the Year. The high school rankings will soon be out. Tabernacle, the defending champion, CC Sweeting, they are always there. Who will it be this year? Each Monday on 1540 AM and 104.5 FM, it's the OT with yours truly, Charles Fisher.
Well, welcome back. We now go to our Lloyd Allen, who's standing by on the grounds of the Princess Margaret Hospital, where health providers are gathering for what's being dubbed a COVID-19 symposium. Lloyd?
Yeah. Yes, good morning, LaDon. Good morning, Bahamas. This morning we are here at the Princess Margaret Hospital near the UWI Library. At 8 o'clock this morning, a symposium is getting started. That's a COVID-19 symposium, bringing in a number of medical practitioners and others from our society, helping to paint a picture for persons on the impact of this deadly virus to our society, as well as the economic impact. This morning, I'm also joined by two medical practitioners who are helping us to answer some questions that still remain. I'm joined this morning by Dr. Williams, Francis Williams, as well as Dr. Roseanne Knowles-McPhee. Both of them have been looking at this since it started almost 2 months ago in China. Good morning, doctors. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Quite well. Thank you.
All right, so again, tell us, what is COVID-19? We've heard a lot about what COVID-19 is online and on television, but tell us again, what is COVID-19?
Yes, so COVID-19 is a virus. There are different viruses. It's a respiratory viruses. So it comes from the class of viruses called corona or coronaviruses. And so it's a new virus that was discovered initially in December in Wuhan, China.
So again, discovered in December, we're fast forwarding almost 2 months. Hundreds, if not thousands of persons have been impacted, whether positively diagnosed or family members affected. Again, we've heard some terms floating around. Even locally, we've heard the term social distancing. Dr. McAfee, talk to me a little bit about what this social distancing, the importance of it, and what it really means.
Okay, well, because the coronavirus actually spreads through respiratory droplets, we have to then distance ourselves from each other about 3 to 6 feet. So that if a person sneezes or coughs and they actually have the virus, that we limit ourselves in order to contract that virus. Also, the CDC recommends now that our groups should be 10 or less to also limit that transmission of viruses to each other.
Now, Dr. Williams, you have your own private practice, and of course, talk to us a little bit. Have numbers gone up? Persons coming in asking more questions about this virus?
Certainly, persons are asking more questions because it's a virus that has affected every country universally, right? And so definitely persons are concerned. Some persons have a lot of anxiety, but we're here to dispel that anxiety this morning. In terms of seeing more cases, not necessarily. The flu season, which we are still in, usually lasts from October to about March. So we are at the point where we would tend to see a drop in the flu season, but the fact that we define it by months doesn't mean that the flu stops at a certain point. And so we're seeing about the same number of cases that we would have seen before.
Now, as I said before, several practitioners are here this morning at the symposium presenting on different ideas related to COVID-19. And again, why is this so important even at this time? You know, we continue to see information coming in about COVID-19, but why again is it so important to really broadcast this information to the public?
Okay, well, now that it's actually arrived here in the Bahamas, I think we need to be more aware. While 80% of those who will get COVID-19 will recover nicely, have mild symptoms. So we actually have to be our brother's keeper in that 20% can be impacted significantly. While also that was mainly focused on the elderly, we have to also consider those who have comorbidities, whose immune systems have been compromised. So those with hypertension, diabetes, those on steroids, whether it's some autoimmune disease, even something as simple as asthma. So we actually have to care for each other in that aspect.
Yeah, the symposium is important because we know that there's a lot of misinformation out there. And we want to be fact-driven, not myth-driven. And so this morning what's happening is that you have a number of specialists who will be presenting on any number of their specialty areas. It's important that the public be aware as to what the facts is so that they can conduct themselves accordingly.
Now, one of those interesting facts that's been surfacing as well, we know that to date, one of the countries, actually the country with the second highest numbers of infections when it comes to COVID is Italy. And of course, Italy, like the Bahamas, is a very social environment. We talked a little bit about that social distancing. What impact, though, do you think that'll have on our society when it comes to limited contact with persons?
Well, right now, that is the recommendation, and we're hoping that Bahamians can adjust. Like you said, we are a social nation, so when we see each other, we hail, we hug, we shake hands. Those things need to be limited or, if most, restricted, and just keep within the family, basically. Yeah.
We know also that there may be some psychological impact, but we are aware that this is good for society. We are aware that we are now in the technological age. And so a number of persons use their smart device, this actually can be quite psychologically quite good. Even though we're not able to hug persons or be around persons, it gives us the opportunity to interact with our families, to check up on others, to get up on work. So, yes, we won't be able to interact with persons as much as we would have before, but it gives us the opportunity to do many other good things.
Now, Dr. McPhee, you again are a family practitioner. In your connection or working with children, what are you getting from them? Do they understand what this is?
That I can't really answer. I'm not seeing as many kids, but I think it's important that our parents are educated and aware of what it is and be able to relate to their kids, to express the importance of, the social interaction of children playing with each other and touching everything. We have to be careful where we're going, touching, because the virus can actually linger on our hands and we can pass it from one to another. So, yeah, I think parents have to be educated in how to relay that information to their kids.
Now, one specific, I know we wanted to stay a lot general this morning. The symposium obviously is going to provide a lot more information. But falling back to that point of touching, talk to us a little bit about those surfaces. And I know there are different types of surfaces. There's cloth or soft surfaces and there are hard surfaces. How does the virus react on those varied surfaces?
Yeah, so harder surfaces, the viruses have a tendency to stay on longer. Yes, there's been the talk about money and viruses being on money. We know that it may only be a few hours on surfaces like that. As we've said before, it's a respiratory virus. It's transferred, as we know, by droplets. It may be aerosolized. And if droplets get on a surface, that it can stay on that surface, then it's more likely to hang around for a longer period of time. So, yes, it could be on any surface. I think the take-home point at the end of the day is that we need to sanitize, we need to wash our hands, and we need to try to decrease the risk of spread by taking proper hygiene efforts.
Well, some great information. And of course, for more information on this deadly virus, COVID-19, this symposium will durate from 8 a.m. this morning up until 10. You can access it streaming live on the PMH Facebook site as well as the ZNS Facebook site. Reporting here from the Princess Margaret Hospital campus, Lloyd Allen, ZNS Network News.
Well, thanks, Lloyd. A new facility opens today to accommodate individuals who test positive for COVID-19. They'll be treated at Doctors Hospital Blake Road location in Western New Providence. The government has acquired the center, noting that those treating patients will utilize various protocols to protect themselves. As the Prime Minister explained during his national address Sunday evening, the facility will be secured by Defense Force officers and no visitors will be allowed unless authorized. Already, the government is securing another center for quarantine purposes. Well, the fear index high as COVID-19 takes its toll globally. In studio to help reduce the anxiety is clinical psychologist Dr. Tracy King. Dr. King, welcome to the Morning Edition.
Thank you for having me.
Dr. King, there's been a lot of panic in recent days. Legislators have appealed for calm, so have church leaders. Why is this so critical in these times?
Well, it's important to stay calm and find a balance, because if we become so anxious and fearful, we're not going to do the things necessary. It's going to take us to a whole other severe level of mental health issues. So finding the balance of recognizing the importance and the alertness that we need to have in this particular time in dealing with this virus. We also need to recognize that we're going to have emotions centered around this particular situation. Anxiety, fear, confusion, worry, all of these are regular emotions that you will have in a pandemic. But recognizing that even though they may be normal, you might, if you are not calm in this situation or finding that balance, it might get to a level where it will be disturbing and also not be helpful as you manage the situation going forward.
Now, I know when we appeal for calm, we're usually talking to adults, but what impact can such anxiety have on children?
So children with adults as well, you will have those particular anxiety, fear, being scared of the situation, being confused, because even though as adults we understand what is happening, children might not be at that point of understanding. And so we need to make sure that we address the needs of those children. You might see reactions such as tantrums. They might be crying a lot. You might see increased irritability, agitation, also a need of clinging, and maybe even bedwetting is some of the reactions. But it's important to make sure that you spend time with your children to deal with these reactions in a supportive way, allowing them to express their emotions and helping them to figure out how is the best possible positive way of dealing with these emotions.
What about the impact on healthcare workers who are on the front line of this pandemic, dealing with the added stress, the demand, the emotions of patients? Talk to that for us.
So healthcare workers are humans, and they also experience a wide range of emotions during this time. You will see, especially with the stress demands that is happening within the situation on them, you will see them sometimes having longer hours, the added stress of the new protocols, etc., but also even the fear of being in a situation where they might also be exposed to the virus itself. So it's important as healthcare professionals that they also do self-care, recognizing that they do have these emotions and to seek assistance if need be.
Give us 5, I guess, easy breezy tips we can do to remain calm.
So being calm and dealing with situations like this there's no one approach. So I tend to basically have like a list, and so I'm going to try to keep it to 5. You, for example, is staying informed. Making sure that you get this information from a credible source, because there's a lot of misinformation out there which can lead to increased anxiety and fear. Also spend a little bit of time looking and staying informed, but not large amounts of time being consumed by the information. Recognizing that yes, it has impacted your life and that you may need to at least try to stay within a certain schedule or routine schedule, but recognizing that you also might have to create a new schedule, because sometimes you can't go to work, sometimes now kids are not able to go to school. So recognizing that there is this change within your schedule, and do what you need to do to try to keep it as close to normal as possible, but if need be, create a new one. Stay active. Make sure that you are taking care of yourself by eating properly and exercising. But I also encourage persons to engage in calming strategies, such as relaxation, as well as sometimes prayer and meditation also helps. When I talk about also staying active, reading, doing house chores, those type of things, and even playing games with your family members, etc.
Well, thanks so much, Dr. King, for joining us this morning. When we return, teams from the Ministry of Education in critical sessions. You're watching the Morning Edition. Stay with us.
Hi, I am Downtown Natasha Brown, and welcome to The Ultimate Youth.
Gallery, number 3 Safri Square, Bay Street, Nassau, Bahamas.
Hey, have you heard? ZNS is everywhere you are when you download the new ZNS app. Whether you're on the move or just kicking back. Miss something on the news? It's there. Want to keep up with a live update? It's there. Or just want to listen to your favorite station? It's there too. Download the app now from the App Store and Google Play Store.
Hi, welcome to Dream Girls. We offer a wide variety of hair care, and your everyday beauty needs.
Here at Dream Girls, we carry a wide variety of products for natural or relaxed hair, such as ORS, Care, and Shea Moisture. We also carry a large selection of weaving, braiding, and crochet hair. You can expect to find a private wig room, a large variety of products, and service with a smile. Whether you're shopping for a party, a corporate event, or your everyday working woman, Dream Girls can make your dream become a reality. Live your dream, experience your dream, Dream Girls.
We have 3 convenient locations to serve you: Village Road Shopping Center, Prince Charles Shopping Center, and Legacy Plaza located on Prince Charles next to BTC Cash and Go. Here at Dream Girls, enhancing beauty becomes your reality.
As the country continues to address concerns surrounding COVID-19, education officials remain at the drawing board, pressing for a solution to assist thousands of public school students now at home. Lloyd Allen has more on this story.
Many principals and administrators have gathered to work out a plan over the next month. As students and teachers are out of the classroom, they're using the virtual classroom and school environment to engage students for the next month. Education Director Marcellus Taylor says at this time, officials remain optimistic that help can continue despite the decision of shutting down schools following concerns of COVID-19.
We have a continuation of a meeting that began yesterday, where we are meeting with all of our top technical people in the Ministry of Education. That will be deputy directors, assistant directors, education officers, senior education officers, to plan and develop the way forward now that we're in this, I would call it COVID-19 era.
For the more than 60,000 public school students in the country, Taylor says there are some groups needing more focus.
We are thinking and relying heavily on, virtual learning platforms and other means of ensuring that students, along with their parents, can still get the kind of curriculum exposure that they would need.
He agrees that there exists a double dose to the current dilemma, first Dorian and now COVID-19. However, virtual learning seems the best solution.
And so we have students who are in examination grades and students who are not in examination grades but still need to get as much as they can get while they're in this period of their time, their lives. We have these tools available to us, these ICT, these information technology tools available to us that maybe 50 years ago were not available. So we in education, although we kind of a little bit in the public sector, a little bit older, a little bit slower to do certain things, we have to move more into this domain because this now gives us an opportunity to fulfill our mandate, even if we cannot bring people to the space that we historically brought them in. And our mandate is to provide quality education, and we just have to find different ways to do that.
He adds, in light of ongoing advancement in technology in the field, key considerations include digitized learning spaces on and off campuses, device accessibility, but also willingness.
We can develop the programs. We can, as much as possible, provide whatever support services in trying to get those documents out and those lessons out and so forth. But the next part of it is the family and the student. The families and the students will have to also embrace this.
Admitting some challenges, Taylor adds that the ministry is aware of vulnerable groups and other related challenges, but ongoing dialogue remains important. Even after April 14th, he says the idea of adjusting exam dates and using existing grades are being considered in light of existing challenges. The ministry has also been in dialogue with Cambridge University, which is responsible for writing national exams.
So they would have cases all over the world of countries that have gone into certain phases of dealing with coronavirus and then taking certain strategies that may impinge upon the times that exams could be done on whatever other kind of considerations that should be made. So we're not going to be unique in that situation of perhaps wanting to change the dates and also needing to make some kind of considerations beyond what is normally done.
Taylor says for students seeking to learn independently, curriculum and related information will be posted in the public domain. However, the way forward remains flexible. Lloyd Allen, ZNS Network News.
Well, a local company is doing its part to protect and safeguard the health of local residents. Impact Waste Management Company erecting 24 potable hand wash stations in key spots in New Providence. Company President and CEO Wellington Rowe.
We figured that if we can help to stem this in as little way as we are in terms of just helping people to practice proper sanitizing, you know, less people out of work, off the jobs, that has more value to us. As being a corporate Bahamian citizen, we feel that it's our duty to give back. It's not much, but in as little as we have, we are more than willing to give it back to the country.
The hand wash stations, all on wheels, are equipped with a portable sink with running water, a towel holder, soap dispenser, and a bin. The stations have been erected at the Princess Margaret Hospital, Prince George Dock, and Junkanoo Beach. The company's president says it's all about giving back.
We would normally charge about $250 for the services, but like I said, we're doing it. This is what we do to give back to our country. We know that tourism, everybody it's all of our business. So we see this as our way of giving back to the country.
Stay with the Morning Edition. Your live traffic report is up next.
The Ministry of Health is working to ensure the safety of the Bahamian people. Help us minimize the risk that coronavirus poses to citizens, residents, and visitors by following these 5 easy steps. Step 1. Wet your hands with clean water. Apply soap and lather for 20 seconds by rubbing them together. Include the top of your hands between your fingers and under your fingernails. Rinse your hands under clean water, then dry them with a paper towel or air dry them. Remember to wash your hands before and after eating, preparing a meal, changing a diaper, or caring for the sick, and always after using the bathroom, touching money, shaking hands, or taking out the trash. Step 2. Cough and sneeze in your elbow or upper sleeve, not in your hands, not in the air. Or you can cover your nose and mouth with a tissue when you cough or sneeze. Put your used tissue in the trash bin when you're finished. Remember to wash your hands with soap and clean water after you cough or sneeze. Also, remember never to spit on the ground, roads, or in open spaces. Step 3. Ensure that raw meat is properly handled and cooked thoroughly. Step 4. Avoid sharing drinking glasses, eating utensils like spoons and forks, or sharing personal items such as toothbrushes and towels. Germs can live on surfaces we touch, so wipe and disinfect surfaces where germs can live, and keep your surroundings clean. Step 5. Avoid close contact with anyone showing symptoms of respiratory illness, such as coughing or sneezing. Should you or anyone you know feel that you have been exposed to the coronavirus, contact the surveillance unit of the Ministry of Health immediately. To reach us, call 502-4776, 502-4790, or 502-4737. We want Bahamians and those that live with and visit us to remain safe from the coronavirus. To do this, we need the help of each and every one of you to follow the simple steps we have shared. Let's stay safe, Bahamas.
Well, at this point, if you're still in traffic, this is a pretty good time to check in on your commute with our Lloyd Allen. Lloyd?
The traffic report is sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance. Today, tomorrow.
Yes, Makushla, this morning we are giving you your first look at traffic. This one coming in from Elizabeth Avenue and Shirley Street. This is near the Princess Margaret Hospital. We already know that several schools and businesses will be closed for the next several weeks as a result of COVID-19, and of course that's affecting traffic. We're going to talk a little bit about that this morning, but before that, I'm going to introduce to you Officer Devon Frazier. He's from the Royal Bahamas Police Force Traffic Division, giving us an initial look at overnight traffic. Good morning, Officer Frazier.
Morning to you. Morning, Bahamas.
All right, so give us an idea of how traffic developed overnight.
Well, over the past 24-hour period, we had a total of 12 accidents, 2 being hit-and-run accidents and 2 being injuries with minor natures.
Okay, so some good news there, of course. I said earlier that traffic is definitely affected as a result of the closure of several schools and businesses. Any advice for motorists and or pedestrians as they make their rounds to work or to other locations?
Well, because of what's going on worldwide, traffic is at a minimal in the Bahamas, but that doesn't necessarily mean we must drive without due care and attention. We must still remain vigilant, follow the rules of the road, and also take our time because we're in there, like you said, we're in there at the hospital, and we have a lot of pedestrians who will be in and out of the hospital simply just to get bread and to get themselves checked out. So we want to be mindful of that and be mindful of the miles, the speed limit in the inner city at 25 miles per hour.
Well, some great information there, of course, and we are recently coming in from that symposium which started at 8 o'clock, and so there is some increased traffic in this area. But of course, that has been your initial look at traffic. Reporting here from Princess Margaret Hospital, Lloyd Allen, Officer Frazier. Makushla, back to you in studio.
Fisher is standing by with sports. And Charles, as Dr. King said, I'm going to try and remain as at peace as possible, and that means moving away from you, not having you remotely near me. So therefore, you do your thing, and I'll just disappear, you know?
Well, coming up in sports, we're going to talk with Dr. Ricky Davis. This morning, he is the Olympic team doctor, and yesterday, we heard that Kevin Durant is one of those tested positive for the coronavirus. So I think the word is getting out there. When high-profile persons like those contract this virus, that means that people are now being aware. Idris Elba, Kevin Durant, so people are now taking precaution, and that is happening nowadays.
Well, sports is up next when we return.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, your hottest place on the planet for rims, tints, tires, and auto sales. We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Track Lights, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king. Blessed luck.
Hepatitis is the inflammation of the liver, which is the organ responsible for filtering toxins from the body, producing bile for digestion, and producing proteins and clotting factors. The most important cause of hepatitis worldwide is viruses, of which there are 5 main types: A, B, C, D, and E. Hepatitis B and C are major health challenges globally, affecting over 300 million persons worldwide. The suspicion of hepatitis may be a challenge as there are typically no symptoms. However, if infected, non-specific symptoms may include decreased appetite, nausea, vague abdominal discomfort, jaundice or yellow eyes, and abnormal liver function tests. If not treated, hepatitis of any type can lead to cirrhosis and liver cancer, which leads to over 1 million deaths worldwide. If you suspect you may have been exposed to the virus that causes hepatitis, talk to your doctor today and get tested.
This public service announcement is brought to you by the Public Hospitals Authority in conjunction with the Medical Association of the Bahamas and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Good morning once again. College basketball, one of the many sports canceled in the United States due to the coronavirus outbreak. And now it may be touching locally on a story that broke overnight. An official who worked the Northeastern Conference Men's Basketball Championship game at Robert Morris has tested positive for the COVID-19. Bahamian Charles Bain plays for Robert Morris Colonials as they beat St. Francis 77-67 in that game. Who would have qualified for the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2015, but March Madness was cancelled. Officials from both schools have been notified along with tournament staffers who may have had close contact with that official, and the NEC is advising anyone who attended the game to monitor for symptoms and contact a doctor. So far, Robert Morris, athletic director, has indicated that none of the players have shown any signs of the symptom from the game which was played March 10th. Let's continue to follow that closely and keep Charles Bain in our prayers. Meantime, the International Olympic Committee, in a communication this morning, stated that the games will go on as planned despite the spread of the coronavirus. Bahamas Olympic team Dr. Ricky Davis speaking with us this morning via telephone. ZNS Sports asking him first about the decision to cancel all local sporting events and international team travel.
Yes, all sporting events in the Bahamas should be postponed or canceled for a later date. Not until we have great understanding of this virus. Human contact is transmittable by this virus. Therefore, participating in any type of sporting event can cause this virus to manifest throughout the country and throughout the sporting world. Therefore, if you notice, throughout the world, all major sporting events have been postponed. Therefore, in the Bahamas, we should not be different. We should cancel all sporting events.
Should athletes be worried with what's going on around the world and the Olympics just a few months away?
At the present time, they should be, because coronavirus is something that we have no control over. It is a life-threatening situation, and it is not necessary for anybody to put their life at risk in any type of competition. So yes, the athletes should be concerned. Hopefully there should be, if not a cure, some immunization that will be able to slow it down. But the Olympic is just one game. Unfortunately, it's every 4 years. If we're not successful in finding any sort of cure for it at the present time, unfortunately, we'll have to look either in 4 years, or if the IOC decided to change it and allow the Olympics to be maybe 2 years later, then we can look forward for that.
There continues to be meetings among the IOC, federations and doctors, but there seems to be no concrete answer.
I had a meeting in France 10 days ago, but that was canceled due to the fact of us being concerned of the coronavirus. That sports physician meeting, approximately 1,000 physicians would have been there. This is associated with the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, but all of us were told that it is canceled because of the coronavirus. We as physicians who are medically inclined did not go. Why should athletes go to things that may cost their life? Therefore, we have to be very concerned about the coronavirus.
It is a saying, but no fact that the virus attacks the old and low immune system. So others and those with high immune system should be safe. Is this true?
Yes, we all have high immune systems, whether athletes or human beings. We all still need to be worried because this virus is something we really don't know anything about. It is something that is new. Yes, they're saying that persons who have comorbid conditions, it causes harm or life-threatening to them, but we're still not 100% sure. So therefore, I don't think anybody should take chances. We should respect this virus until we have some great knowledge or understanding of what this virus is all about.
Well, with no sports locally and internationally, no NBA, no college basketball, no hockey, no nothing, sports bars have become a ghost town. ZNS Sports visited a few and was able to get a front row seat with no hassle at all. Only things on the television sets now is old sports games, some even putting on movies, just nothing to watch, and that means everyone possibly staying at home.
It's a little unexpected and very inconvenient because sports is definitely something that brings people together. They come out to congregate. So it is a very big part of how we make money. We've definitely seen a decline in the amount of customers that come out during the evenings. But, you know, with all things, you have to try to adjust and make the necessary changes. So we've been having other activities, example, karaoke and other events, to kind of get people out and still involved, to still socialize.
We have seen more like a drop, especially when this whole virus actually came up. We actually do show our spots on multiple TVs, as you can see. We have about, I'll say, about 13 to 15 sports channels per show. And what we've been trying to do is that we've been trying to put in for a whole happy hour on Tuesdays and Thursdays and stuff like that, just to try to get the people back inside the place. And now that they saying that, you know, everything is scarce and stuff like that, so the folks that ain't really coming out no more, as you can see.
It has slowed down the day-to-day come in, and I've noticed that a lot of my customers now, they would come in, they'd purchase, but then they'll leave. They wouldn't stay and hang up anymore. So I've noticed that.
This was supposed to be the time for the bars to be packed. NCAA college basketball, March Madness, and NBA season was heating up, and if this lasts any longer, there may not be any finals. So just what may be the alternative for these settings with the fans not coming out to watch?
Hoping for the best, and that something happens or something changes, because, you know, it's a part of our culture. We look forward to, you know, NBA championships happen in May, and you kind of plan around it, and so you just have to do what you can and hope for the best.
Sports aspect, that's where we get all our fans them from too. And now the basketball game is a show when we basically just losing, like we actually down right now. So this is one of the things that is basically hurting us right now.
I do have a little fears towards it, but of course I'm just more anxious than anything, because I just want to, basically you just want to know everything, and of course we don't, so that's the only fear I really have at this point. So.
Well, that's going to do it for sports. Just want to encourage everybody to continue to be safe.
The ZNS community page now has its own home on Channel 230. Be sure to tune into this channel to see informative notices, funeral announcements, birthday greetings, and much, much more. So watch the ZNS community channel today on Cable 230.
Our marine resources were once considered inexhaustible. Conch and reef fish like grouper were abundant everywhere, and it seemed as if the lobster catch would rise forever. But today, there is a downward trend that affects everyone. Researchers say we can reverse the trend by protecting more marine habitats. And the good news is that most Bahamians strongly support efforts to halt further decline. Tripling the size of our network of marine parks will mean more fish and conch for everyone now and for the future, as well as more recreational and ecotourism opportunities. Today, only 10% of our waters are protected. Surveys show that most Bahamians consider protection of our marine environment to be a top national priority. More protection means more benefits for everyone, now and in the future. It's a win-win-win strategy for the economy, for Bahamians, and for nature. Protect our sea, protect our way of life, protect the Bahamas. See the future. Visit Bahamas Protected on Facebook to learn more about marine protected areas.
It's time for our morning weather forecast, and outside of our studios, we're under partly sunny skies with a temperature of 70 degrees. Relative humidity 82%, easterly winds at 5 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,021.8 millibars. That's 30.22 inches, and it is steady. Your temperatures around the islands this morning: 67 degrees in Marshall, Babico, in Greenville, Key 66 in Freeport, Grand Bahama, the Berry Islands at 74, 75 in Allenstown, Bimini, 74 in Harbor Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera, Otterstown, Cat Island, Stanley Key, Kemps Bay, South Andros, and Fresh Creek in Central Andros. San Salvador also 74, Rim Key 74 degrees. In Ragged Island, it is 75. Clarenstown, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Ackland, Matthew, Nagua, all reporting 75 degrees. In the Turks and Caicos Islands, they have a temperature of 74 degrees. And if you're flying this morning, here's some high and low temperatures you're likely to find at some of your favorite cities. That's going to do it for your travel forecast. Now for your boating forecast: northeast winds 12 to 18 knots. That's for the northwest Bahamas. The wave heights, they should be around 3 to 6 feet. Low tide 10:52 this morning. High tide at 4:44 this afternoon. And for the central and southeastern islands, northeast winds 15 to 20 knots. The wave heights 4 to 7 feet. Caution flags up for boaters in the central and southeastern Bahamas. And taking a look at our satellite picture, we do have some low-level clouds over the southeast Bahamas, but that high pressure will continue to dominate our weather today, so we're looking at mostly sunny and warm today, a high temperature of 81 degrees tonight, near clear skies with a low of 69 degrees. Your extended weather forecast, very comfortable nighttime temperatures continuing through the period, and those daytime temperatures, well, once again, they remain in the 80s for you, and an abundance of sunshine is in our forecast taking us into next week. Patricia?
Well, thanks, Basil. That does it for our morning edition. As always, have a safe and wonderful Wednesday. Just a reminder to be sure to join the ZNS Television and Radio Network for live coverage of the House of Assembly at 10 a.m. Also, stay tuned to the ZNS Network for all your COVID-19 news updates and late-breaking news on radio and TV.